Hey, look, everybody that's at Vince Staples' level, just ask for it. Just say, nah. So you didn't like the fact that Vince Staples asked for the review?
I loved it, but that's not gonna work for everybody.
Yeah, but that's what I just said. People at Vince Staples' level.
It's not gonna work for everybody at Vince Staples' level.
That's true. But they
That's true.
It don't mean that we're gonna do it. Like we don't. That a hip hop album review, Vince Staples FM.
It was humbling though, like the fact
It was bad cool.
Yeah.
You threatening us though, Vince. That felt like a threat.
Do y'all remember what he said last time?
He said that a hip hop niggas the only niggas I know do hella videos and
don't change their outfit.
Don't wear
I saw that, but I mean, he's never really asked about music.
No. He's never done that. I don't think.
But even before the request for us to review this, as soon as I saw Vince Staples had something out, he's just one of those guys. Ooh, add that. Let me play that. Let me see what the man talking about. And the first thing I took away from this project was this is by far his most accessible sounding album. Because everything else, you know, he could be dark and gloomy, talking about his pops, talking about gun this, violence that, you know, and he's just one of those guys that's just gritty and grimy he can be. But this, like when it came on, I'm like, okay, nigga, this sound like a party, nigga, sound like summertime.
It was like summer.
It maybe I'm just slow, but the first time I missed the whole radio station thing. I was just listening to the music so much that I missed it the first time. I just did.
He's a thinking emoji.
It's called FM.
I was just a little lost, and you know, my first couple listens.
But the title, it came on.
He's not letting it go.
Stop.
I'm being honest. I'm being vulnerable.
I need a moment of clarity. The title, but it comes on with the frequency shit, and then the big boy intro. Like,
But listen. I was driving the first time I
with the radio in the car.
The radio in the car. Said it's that obvious, huh?
I don't listen to the radio like that no more. I honestly don't. It was playing, man, and I was just listening to music. But no, man, like this was a really good project, and like I said, it was the most accessible sounding music that he put out, and it makes sense, right? Like, he made it the radio station. So I guess if Vince Staples was running a radio station of his own music, this is what it would sound like. Could this be like Cali trap? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this Cali, like Cali's version or Vince Staples' version of trap music? You know what I'm saying? That's something that will be on the radio that's accessible like that. Because this shit,
you know, he still got like
Still
that.
rapping.
He's still rapping. He still got like the gangster tales and stuff in there.
That's exactly what I thought too. I was like, this is like a modern, more poppy West sound. Because it comes on, and at first you're taken a little bit off guard by the sound, but then you're like, nah, but this shit still sounds like West Coast.
Yes, it's writing, and that's the thing I mostly took away from it. I'm like, this is one of those albums for me that it doesn't matter if you're at a party, you're chilling at the crib, right? Like you're doing shit around the house.
This album has that feel.
It has that feel. And I thought that the timing of the release was interesting too, right? Because
November.
Exactly, November, and he comes off saying it sounds like summer. And then also being from Cali, they don't get fucking cold out there like that.
Right,
so it's always summertime. It's always a party in LA.
I didn't connect that part.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it feels like summer.
So where's all that shit talking now?
Because I remember when me and my sister went to Cali in November, and it felt like summer. Like it was 75 degrees, 76 degrees every day, and I'm like, damn, like for him to like touch on that and touch on like kind of like growing up in LBC or being in Long Beach, it's like it's still like gangster around here all year round. Like it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like I think
cold weather don't stop no gun.
I'm like, man, I'm happy because this is like the first time that I really thoroughly enjoyed.
because you ain't really like Big Fish like that.
I ain't like Big Fish.
either.
This is kind of made me want to go back to Summertime 06 and be like, damn, did I miss something or whatever?
I give you Big Fish because Big Fish was a little weird. You say just from the sounds and everything.
Like dancing.
He was definitely
it was
experimenting
techno.
sounds.
Yeah, it was a lot of techno sounds and shit. So I can give you that one. People don't like that. All right, cool, bet.
Like listen to this.
Summertime 06 though, you fucking up.
Yeah, listen to this whole entire album. Like I still feel like I'm in fucking Long Beach. I'm in West Coast. Like, and I love how he threw in like E4. He had like a couple of like vets in E40.
I love that.
Yes, and then he had a JR on Don't Get Chipped, JR. But I like how he had like the little subtle West Coast like legends on there.
Cause he had Earl in it too, right?
Yeah.
He had Tyga. I know we're not necessarily big fans of Tyga, but Tyga does sound West when you put him on those West.
Is he
beats.
West? Is he from the West?
I think he is. But I think that was the interesting because you had the Earl interlude and then you had the Tyga interlude. I still be trying to call him Tigger. But the Tyga interlude, and then there's Run the Band. So kind of going back to like, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the underlying theme on here, and you guys know like we, in the Where Does Hip Hop Go for 20 years, we had a discussion about radio, which kind of morphed into a discussion about gatekeepers versus curators. But, I've been kind of, on this radio thing. So he does this FM thing. And then you have these varying sounds, these varying topics where it's almost like if radio was in existence, like current version of radio, it could sound like this, where you can have the trap music, you can have also the other more lyrical stuff, sitting around that. It could be that balance thing that you've been on since we started this whole thing. So radio sounds one-dimensional, but if you take it all into consideration, all the varying forms of types of hip-hop that we have, it doesn't have to. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what he was going for, what he was trying to do. It probably wasn't, but that's kind of what I peeled from it the second or third time that I listened to it. And I thought that was kind of dope.
I think the execution on this project was stellar, right? Because it's short. 22 minutes. Yeah. 11 tracks, 22 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And it just seems like and this is all kudos to B. It just seems like 2018 has been the year of the short album, and the shorter ones have been really fucking amazing. And I think that to execute this idea, this loose concept of being a radio station and him putting his music out there for people to enjoy, not just to sit back and break down lyrics and, this is real heavy and all of that.
Listen to it kind of like OD Holler radio station used to premiere music.
Exactly.
Like, you had the popular DJ at that radio station and it's like, oh shit, like, hey, you're about to play this and that. Because they used to play, I know in Detroit, they used to play like a lot of, not only just the singles, but like the stuff, joints. Like the album joints that wasn't the singles.
For him to lyrically be where he's at, for him to kind of have these throwbacks, you know what I'm saying? Like it's interesting that this guy doesn't necessarily study, doesn't go back, he doesn't praise all of the old people. He doesn't have like, the 90s was the greatest. Like he's like, I'm better than all them niggas. And I like that confidence, but for him to be able to execute like that and give us that nostalgic feel of music, that's something to be said.
Yeah, he can show and prove, which is what's important. A lot of these rappers will come out and say, I'm better than all these guys. And it's like, bro, you're not even close. But at least Vince knows that he has that level of talent. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you right now, I was really hoping this was good.
Yeah.
Because dude goes on Twitter and basically blasts us like, y'all need to do the round table, man. Fuck that. I need to hear the round table about this album. I'm like, I didn't really care for Big Fish Theory.
Yeah,
I think I remember. I don't remember the review, but I definitely like Summer of '06. I was like, man, I really hope this is not another Big Fish. And when it came on, I promise it was like this sigh of relief. I did not want to get on camera after a motherfucker asked me this shit. Like, bro, I'm not fucking on it.
Yeah, but to your point, what you guys were talking about, like you asked for something and then we listen to it, and if it's not good, like Vince knows, like when this is the chamber. Like you come in here, like you don't know what's gonna come out. You might get skinned up. So he knows. So he was. I'm sure he was prepared for it to go either way.
Yeah.
So
it's like a Russian roulette type of deal. You're right, but I still didn't want to. And I was still. I didn't want that pressure. I didn't want that pressure, and that's why I'm kind of glad that a lot of artists don't do this. But at the same time, I was also like, damn, what if I'm the only one that doesn't like it? Then I'm really the asshole. But I was just like, fuck it. If anybody can take it, I feel like it would be him. He would just make some jokes about how I'm ugly or something, and then we just move on. But I really fucking enjoyed this shit. Like, this is a fun album, but I love the juxtaposition of it being aesthetically fun, but deep down he's talking about some really dark shit and some very serious shit. Oh, don't get chipped is my shit.
Like, that's dark as fuck.
And Relay, where he goes to that old like kind of DJ Quick type of flow. It's like, And the thing about it is, you were saying it's throwback, and it's definitely got some throwback feel to it. But at the same time, it's almost like I don't know anybody making something that sounds like this.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I would say sonically, right? Like if you didn't break it down, if you just like heard this and then heard that, YG's album is the closest, right? Because it just has that over, you know, West Coast sound, right? But when you look at it, YG's album is like that new West Coast. This feels more throwback but new. It's weird.
I think his flow is what's making it sound more throwback to, for me at
least.
So? Okay. I don't think it's the beats, because it was weird, because when the beats come on at first, I'm like, this isn't a very new sound for Vince Staples. I'm like, this is interesting. But then on the second go around, I'm like, wait, this shit still sounds like West Coast. But you can't really break it down and say why.
Yeah.
That's 100%. What's so weird about this. I don't know if it's him that's making it sound this way, or if it's the beat, or if it's just the whole package. But either way, it's a fucking fun listen. Like, there's not a song on here where I'm like, I'm not trying to hear that one. And I there's very few albums I've heard this year where I'm like, damn, that was actually fun to listen to. But then you're tricked. Because it's like, damn, he's talking about death, he's talking about gun violence, he's talking about all kinds of shit. Is that what he's going for? Does he not want you to, like...
I don't know, because if you think about hip-hop, right? Hip-hop came out of, like, sort of a pain of black people, right? It started with party music, and then it went to the pain of black people, but it turned into a form of entertainment. And it's almost like we're able to dance and enjoy, regardless of the scenario, but we're also dancing and enjoying like the pain and plight of us as a community because of everything that's been going on. So on one hand, it's perseverance, right? We're able to still in some way kind of find a way to overcome, but it's not like we're still also aware of the realities of our world too. So it's really weird to to be like, man, this shit is bumping, but he's talking about killing somebody. Kind of also somewhat goes back to the question we had on Is the Mic Still On? Make sure you guys check that out, episode 99, where it was a question about canceling Kanye. We kind of went into that a little bit, but not like all the way here. It was just kind of more surface level. So, but yeah, it's really interesting, like, to kind of talk this out loud about what he was going for, whether it was intentional or not. It's hard to determine. I don't know. You have to assume, like with Vince, I feel that everything he does is intentional. I don't think he left that up for chance.
I meant, was it when you listen to this? I feel like you're catching his flow, you're catching his cadence, his rhyme patterns, and you're catching the beat. But you're not always catching what he says.
The content, right?
If you're not like a words guy, you're not gonna catch what he's saying. So I'm saying, was it intentional to put these type of words over a backdrop that may remove your brain from processing exactly what he's saying? It's just a very odd pairing, but I just think that he made it work extremely well on this.
Feels like summer, which is, fun times. Like, we go outside, it feels nice outside. But at the same time, you can also get chipped. You know what I'm saying? There's the tweaking that going on, like just going through the titles. He was like, so yeah, it's like fun, run the bands. Like, it's all of these things that's going on, but in a time where you just kind of want to enjoy life, but you kind of sort of can't.
Yeah, I would love to see him do these songs live.
Oh yeah,
I can see it being a party. Him being crazy and and that's another thing. It's like, I didn't feel this way about that Big Fish album, but it seems like more of his personality came through on this album than on Big Fish.
It just seemed like overall he had fun. You know what I'm saying? On this project. On this, it just seemed like he was just having a great ass time in the studio. Yo, send it to this person, send it to that person. Let's get Earl on. You know what I'm saying? So it felt light and airy, and not just because of the music, but like Vince himself. Like, I don't know, it's like he almost let himself go a little bit more on it. And
I guess it speaks to his talent, it speaks to his versatility as an artist. Not a lot of people can jump, from that to Big Fish Theory, that to this, so, and he's not allowing himself to be boxed in, which I think is cool too.
For me, give me Outside, Don't Get Chipped, Run the Bands, and Fun.
Fun, Tweaking.
Oh yeah.
Don't Get Chipped. And I said Fun, right? Feels like Summer.
Don't Get Chipped, Tweaking, No Bleeding, and Fun.
Feels Like Summer, Don't Get Chipped, fun. Cause that fucking Crippin' Bjork line was just perfect. I'm excited about the bands.
Man, Vince, if you watch it, continue to push the box, man. I think Ken said it. You're not boxing yourself in sonically. So continue to push that envelope. I think that this, to me, is one of my favorite projects that you released, because you didn't lose yourself in it, right? Like in terms of your topic and subject matter, but you were able to just craft a whole different sound.
Vince, if you're watching, I enjoyed this project, man. It was a fun, short, entertaining listen. I like that you're vocal. I like that you're challenging, some of these ideas that are in place, and and cause a dialogue. Like, we all don't have to agree on something, but we can at least have an open forum and a discussion about it. And just your approach, like, you're not sticking to one sound or one thing. Like, you're taking advantage of the talents and the skills that you have. And this project speaks to that. You're jumping from Big Fish Theory, which was more experimental, to something that's more radio friendly and that's accessible. And hopefully people can kind of pick up some of the things that you're saying, some of the ideas that you're putting into this. So overall, man, keep doing what you're doing. I like your spot in hip hop. I think is perfect.
Vince Stable, if you're watching, man, this is finally like full circle for me, because even in previous reviews we've done, I've always, like, every time I see an interview with you, I always click on it. I always love what you stand for, what you're talking about, like, how you present it, how funny you are.
I saw the one he did with Joe Budden.
Yeah. So it's like I always, because when I saw him, I'm like, okay, I gotta see what he says. So I'm always clicking on what you got to say. That's why it always used to frustrate me. Like, damn, I wish I loved your music more. So I feel like with this album, it just came full circle. It's like, yes, I can finally. This is like my first project, maybe since Stolen Youth, since I've like thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm like, yes, this is it. I just feel happy that it just finally come full circle, because if you've been watching our previous reviews, I've been critical on your work before. So for me to like really like this one, I'm like, yes, this is great. So keep up the good work, man.
Vince Staples, if you're watching, don't think we some punks like we just paid. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna do it anyway, motherfucker. But nah, man, this is a great project. Even though I didn't like your last project like that, I love the fact that you're keeping your discography very diverse. And the fact that you made an album in 2018 that sounds like something that I can't easily peg attached to something else or some sort of style is actually extremely interesting to me. But I think if this is your idea, I think this is a great idea. I think what you're going for is extremely dope, and I think the execution was really fresh. So yeah, man, keep up the good work.